Saturday. It's Saturday, Kevin. That means it's Japanese Knife 101.
Happy Saturday, Chris. Happy Japanese Knife 101.
Happy Japanese Knife 101. Look, I got a good lean on today.
You do. You got a bit of a lean.
You know what I look like? I kind of look like, well, mine is like, I don't know, put someone else's face on. But I kind of look like I'm going to take the textbook and throw it in the garbage and then sit backwards on the chair and introduce myself as your substitute teacher for the day.
Is that what you thought you looked like? I thought you looked like...
But no, it's you got to take the face off.
No. Oh, different face.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that beard says something more like, I'm here to be your substitute bass guitar player.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
going
no
on?
good, but I got a lot of attitude.
What's going on today?
Well, I think this is our last scheduled Saturday Japanese Knife 101.
Until your store gets closed down again.
until everyone goes cops on each other and all that jazz, But we reopen on Tuesday.
Well, that's exciting.
It is, yeah. So it's kind of going to be like what it was before Christmas, We're going to be open. You got to have your mask on, obviously. You're going to sanitize your hands when you get here. We're going to ask you some questions about, have you been out of the country? Have you got a cough yourself? So on and so forth. We got to ask all those. But then we're back. Yeah, we're going to be in the orange zone. So that means you can act on your impulses a little bit better. You can wander off to the store and
actually do stuff.
A little bit, so should be all right. But yeah, so here we are, Saturday. We've named it Pineapple Express. I don't know what that means. I'm wondering if maybe I should have imbibed a little bit before we got going. But looks like Kevin's just frozen in time, like Encino Man. But same story. Oh, that's why it's called Pineapple Express, because I got a pineapple here. Kevin challenged me earlier this week to a pineapple race. I don't anticipate doing very well. I think I've got the worst pineapple in the city. It's pretty green. So, same story. We've got, we're here for all your questions. Are you trying to figure out what kind of knife you like? What kind of jobs? You just got a new knife, you need something new to cook? That's a pretty fun one. Dr. G is asking, what kind of Valentine's Day sale do we have at Knifewear this weekend? I'm just excited. Dr. G, I'm excited to open the doors on Tuesday. That's kind of what I'm rooting for.
So, Tuesday, Chris, is Shrove Tuesday.
Is it?
What that means? You're supposed to eat pancakes to get rid of all the meat. To get rid of all the meat out of your fridge. Because Lent is coming, which means Easter's coming, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you giving up for Lent?
I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might give up being reasonable, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that comes natural. That's good.
Yeah, I might give up self-restraint.
I might give it up not drinking beer whenever I want.
Oh, just drinking beer some of the time when you want.
No, every single time I want.
Every single time you want. Well, that's reasonable.
Rather than having restraint.
Yeah, restraint. So you challenged me to a pineapple race today.
Yeah, we got pineapples.
Yeah, look at how good yours is, though. Mine's crap. Look at this thing.
Well, the thing is about this pineapple is I had a lot to choose from. I grabbed the biggest one, but it was also pretty ripe too. Because does anybody know how to get a ripe pineapple? You want one that's got a bit of kind of yellow color, but you also want some green on it still.
Yeah.
You want to be able to pull one of these middle spikes out with ease. And If it smells like a pineapple, you're getting there. Can you get a middle spike out of yours there, Chris?
No, not a chance.
What if you had pliers?
Yeah. Oh, I did get one. I got one.
Does it smell like a pineapple? Does it smell like a pineapple?
Really. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm quite disappointed in my pineapple. You would think, because they were on sale too. They were on sale. They were $2.99. Usually you put fruit on sale when it's about to go bad, not when you first eat the damn thing.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Fighting Music wants us to play the SpongeBob song.
So welcome to everybody. Welcome to what we call Japanese Knives 101. Chris and I meet up. Chris is in Ottawa. I'm in Calgary. We're from Knifewear. We sell Japanese kitchen knives. And this is kind of it's been a twice weekly, 3 weekly event. It's usually a one-time event. It's usually on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
It's usually on Tuesdays, and we talk Japanese knives, we talk cooking, we talk whatever, really. It's a great time to ask questions. If you have questions, if you're thinking about a Japanese knife, if you're looking for a knife, give us some questions. If you want to know Chris's grooming tips for those incredible sideburns on his face, you can ask him about that. It's we just have fun, really. And today we're gonna have some kind of a cutting up pineapple race. I reckon the rules for the race, Chris, would be top and tail it.
Yeah.
Take the skin off, but don't cheat and go so deep when you take the skin off, you take the eyes out also.
Yeah.
Because you lose so much pineapple in. So take the skin off and then cut the eyes out, quarter it, take out the core, and then slice them so they're all
into like the little wedges, little buffet wedges.
So they're all uniform size.
Yeah.
And
I don't have faith in myself for this.
Really? You know what? 20 years ago, I worked at a catering company, and I probably cut 20 pineapples a week.
I've maybe done 20 pineapples in my life.
Yeah, but see, that was 30 years ago.
30 years ago, 30 years ago, I'd be lucky if I was able to pour my own bowl of cereal and get ready to watch cartoons.
I'm not young. I'm not young. I think that's what that means.
Yeah. Well, I think we determined what knife are we going to use? Well, that's a good question. What knife have you got planned for this?
So it's a, what is this? An R2 steel. It's Damascus. You look at the pattern there. It's a really cool pattern. Made by Kobayashi. And with one of those weird handles on it.
Yeah.
I love this knife for a lot of reasons. I like thin. Like if you look how thin the blade is, right?
Yeah.
It's really thin. I like thin knives for this. It's 210 millimeter. I wish it was a 240, to be honest. I think 240 would be better for this job. But I like that it's stainless because carbon steel can make pineapples taste kind of metallic. And it really stains your knife fast. So I don't think pineapple and carbon steel are a match. So it's stainless, which is good. And every time I use this knife, I think about when I met Kobayashi. And we met in a town of, not Gifu. Where did we meet? Seki. We met in Seki town when there was supposed to be a tsunami coming. Not a tsunami, tsunami. So we were supposed to get we were going to be like epicenter of the blast. And at the last moment, it just turned away, actually, and missed our city. But we hunkered down that evening in a gyoza bar and drank a lot of sake and ate a lot of gyoza.
Was that
that was a
place where I saw you sent me a video. There was like a dude in a little Bo Peep dress doing trapeze stuff.
Well, I think we'll call her a girl.
Okay.
Lady that worked there. And she was quite athletic, and she had a trapeze swing in the middle of her bar. Shiba got on it. Shibata-san from Moscow Gunai got a little ride on there. That was kind of fun.
And the funny thing about Shiba doesn't even drink. He just did it.
He just did it for fun.
Yeah, that's a different move altogether. I wish that you never figured that out.
Figured what out?
I wish that I was the one in charge of the captions like last week. And now you figured it out, and now I can't avoid.
You can't avoid
anything.
what?
I can't avoid the jokes. You can just sneak them right in.
What kind of jokes you mean?
You know what I'm talking about. Fighting Usyk does have an interesting question, though.
Well, so does Don Penny. Don Penny says, do you know much about Switzerland, Chris?
No, he doesn't. That's not Don Penny. It would have his picture beside it if it was.
Oh, sorry, that was Dr. G. Dr. G said, do you know much about Switzerland? He says he doesn't either, but the flag is a big plus. Chris, the flag is a big plus, Chris.
I understand it's a red background with a big white cross on it.
Yeah, it's like a plus sign. The flag is a big plus.
Addition symbol.
Sorry, I've got a cough, by the way. I'm again stuck in my house waiting for my COVID test. I don't have COVID. I don't leave my house. I couldn't go out. But I've got a cough. I think
it's better to be safe than sorry.
It's just really dry here in Calgary.
Yeah. This is a good question, though, Kevin. Are there SG2 or R2 knives that don't lean to the laser side?
Well, and when it's the laser side, you mean like really, really thin?
Yeah, that's how I interpret it. Yeah.
Yep. Takamura, Ichigumo, and Hana, if you can ever get them. I know I can't. Those aren't so thin. You can get some knives from Saji that are a bit more.
That's right. Yeah.
Who else? The SRS 15s or 13s from Hadayuki, the Kuma, the Yokuma. Those are less laser-like. Laser being exactly thin, light, but also fragile and chippy. So look for Saji, R2 from Saji. Look for Takamura, but the Damascus ones, not the Megaki ones. The Damascus ones are a bit thicker. And if you could find, Kurosaki sometimes does, not often. I can always ask. What is that there, Chris?
Two can play at this game. Kevin can.
Well, let's see. What did one pickle say to the other pickle on Valentine's Day? I like you a great deal. It's funny. It's just funny. Chris, do you have any news today? Do you have any news?
Well, I got the leaky bathtub that I was complaining about the other day. Got that fixed. If anyone's curious about that, thank you very much. I don't know if the Voog is watching, but I did take his recommendation for a plumber. Chris Eltervoog is a good man, very helpful, good guy to know. What else? We got the store opening up. We got the store opening up on Tuesday. Sean and I have sharpened a few knives here today, but we're looking forward to getting back to normal. What else we got going on?
You gonna eat some pancakes on Tuesday? Here, that's what we've got going on. I'm gonna put another. I've made some captions today. Did you notice, Chris? I found the place where you make captions, and I made some captions. Here, this is something coming up. We're watching a knife TV show with your hosts Kevin, Chris Lord, and Naoto, our sharpening wizard, and we're gonna try to make a little, like Naoto called it, like breakfast television. So there you go, breakfast television for nerds. No, cool breakfast television.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're thinking we need a name for the show. The working title so far has been Sharp Knives Rock, and people have told me that's a terrible name. And
I did notice that on Twitter.
I kind of like slicing up onions.
Slicing up onions is good.
Actually, I saw the one comment on Twitter. I said I was going to do this, and then one said, "Good, because you don't have any good videos on YouTube yet."
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a friend of Adam's.
But he earned himself a block there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like arguing. Block.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think the show should be called?
Yeah. Brainstorming is fun. You guys have been here for the whole time anyway, so you may as well have a bit of a say, I think.
Ooh, did you hear about the fighting? Hear about the watchdogs? Chris?
I saw
Rolex and Timex.
I'll just pop that up there for a sec. You guys, we may as well just keep going with it. I'm just gonna embrace the jokes now.
Send us the stupidest jokes you have.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll pop them up.
Chris likes them a lot. They make him happy. Makes his day better. You can tell by the way he sighs every time I ask the Switzerland joke.
Yeah, I look this way all the time. You know what? I finally got my hands on one of those Sakai Ul knives, eh?
Oh, Owen in Vancouver bought one yesterday.
Yeah, Owen grabbed one. I'm gonna get them because I think they're pretty.
I would have used mine for the pineapple thing, but it's carbon steel, and I don't think it's a good match for pineapple.
Yeah, I got the two.
Which is a bummer.
Here. But yeah, like everything Kevin was saying before, like these things are so cool. So it's got this other kind of style of handle, right, where it doesn't have the collar because it's made out of oak.
Yeah, it's strong enough to do that, right?
Yeah. But then, like, look at this Kurochi finish and how tall that kind of that primary bevel, that shinogi is, right? So then
it just flies through food.
Yeah, it's so thin. And it's nice and flat. Like, I don't know. It just feels really good. And I didn't really catch on to this, but I know you were saying before that the choil in here has been machined, or like not machined,
polished, even
polished out. Yeah, but so you had said that before, and I just thought you meant that it had been smooth.
No, it's a mirror.
It's actually shiny.
It's a mirror polish. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have been paying more attention, you know. But yeah, no, these are super tempting.
Yeah, well, Owen grabbed them. I grabbed two. I grabbed the Kobunka and the 240.
Yeah.
Owen grabbed a 240 Gyuto yesterday as well. It was madness. I love that knife. Dr. G says, what did one light bulb say to the other light bulb on Valentine's Day? I love you a lot. Probably be I love you a lot.
We've got some good suggestions here.
Like Chop Chop TV.
Chop Chop TV, Splitting Hairs. Splitting Hairs isn't bad. I like that.
Don Penny, what do you got against onions, Don Penny?
Oh, Don Penny doesn't like vegetables of any kind, I don't think.
Do you know why? He was bit by an onion once. A rabid onion.
A feral onion. We've got wild garlic in Ontario. I didn't know that we had wild onions.
Of course you do, man. Where you got wild garlic, you got wild onions. It's just like where you got tomatoes, you got basil. It's a thing.
They go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. Because we don't have any news today, do we?
Not really. No. Oh, TJ Ronan, good news for you. You didn't miss the sword because we never got to it.
Kind of like you didn't miss the French fry competition because we never got to it.
Never got to it. So Kevin, this fella Edgar here, he bought a couple of these Sakai Uls. He lives in the Netherlands, and they just showed up. And I seem to think that he quite enjoys them.
Listen, I saw a great video from Amsterdam today where people are skating on the canal and enjoying winter, and I just loved it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fabulous.
People do that here, I hear.
Well, not here in Calgary. We don't have one of those. We have a river that we can actually fly fish on all winter. It moves fast enough. It doesn't freeze over fully. So people are out there all winter fly fishing, which is madness in my mind. Because I always try to fall in at least once when I'm fly fishing.
Yeah, that is a pretty quick moving. Like I'm.
That's why the fish are so good.
Yeah, I guess they got to be strong to stay in there. You should bring the sword out one day, though.
I should actually.
We should.
Have to be mentally ready for it.
Yeah. Well, there's gonna be a lot of questions come with the sword.
Well, that's right, and I should probably do some research.
Do a little bit of homework ahead of time.
Yeah, because I don't have any answers. Maybe I'll find a sword specialist to join us.
That'd be cool. It'd be like that show Pawn Stars. I don't know much about this thing, but I got a friend who does.
Yeah. Oh, he says it's only worth 40 cents.
Yeah.
I know you want $7,000 for it, but he only wants 40 cents. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you a quarter. I like that story. I like that show. They always believe him too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They never go for a second opinion, you know?
No, I always think he's lying, but what do you know? A lot of ice skating over here these days. What's the weather like? Okay, Edgar Vandermeer Moore. I need to know, what is the weather like right now out there? Because it's minus 20 here and it's a bit chilly. But we got full sun in Calgary, so minus 20 and full sun is not a bad day.
Mm.
I'll go for a bike ride after this, if I could leave my house, but I can't.
Dork is asking about the spine on the ool on these guys.
Yes, it's very Sanjo style.
Yeah.
At least mine is.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't get like it, right at the very end.
I thought it was. I was looking at a different knife yesterday.
Yeah. No, it's pretty. There's not a ton of tapering, at least not on the one that I'm looking at.
There is taper from, but it's not like Masakagi's or Sanjo ones that get really fat at the end. But it does get thinner toward the front for sure.
Yeah, the 240, like it's pretty gradual. Like if we wanted to be, this is about as nerdy as I'm ever going to get here. So I've got 4 millimeters at the very far back. And then, it makes it down to about, you lose about a millimeter between here and here. And then from there to there, you get, right down to the point, you're down to like 1 millimeter. So, but it's like, it's pretty like very little occurs between these 2 points. And then from here to the tip, it comes down to almost nothing. So, yeah, splitting hairs sounds, I kind of like that. But I don't know.
Minus 8, Edgar says, but Admiral Longstaff says the Netherlands are minus 13. I guess there's more than one temperature in a big area.
That happens.
Yeah. So we've warmed up to minus 20 actually. We didn't get winter until about a week ago because it hadn't been colder than minus 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Suddenly we decided to go to minus 30 every day for 10 days.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone hard with my bike even, which is a bummer because I like commuting in the winter when it's this cold on my bike because there's nobody on the paths. It's kind of fun.
I only went winter cycling with you that one time.
You didn't like it. You were cold.
It was too cold for me. Well, I also didn't know what I was doing.
I had to buy you hot chocolate, which was coffee flavored.
Yeah, coffee.
Listen, guys, somebody hit us with a question. We seem to be very bad at this today.
Yeah. Well, TJ's asked us about Ryosen Homono. We've had those. I remember having a 210 in the store one time. That was years ago.
Yusan and Takamura used to work together. But they don't really get on much anymore. So you can look at sometimes like Yusan makes a blade called blades and then Takamura makes Takamura blades. But they're hard to find these days. Now, Chris, I don't know if you know about the Yusan Damascus knives, but they make these VG10 Damascus knives. They're really beautiful handle, like the Takamura.
Yeah.
But they're interesting because they don't really make those handles, those blades. So we might be getting those same blades because I like that blade. So we might be getting the same one, but from the people that actually make it.
Okay.
So that's my plan.
I know what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah. And it will say that maker's name on the blade. It won't say Yosan. It'll say somebody from Sanjo. Somebody from, not Sanjo, from, what's the name of the town beside Sanjo?
Niigata. Oh, no, not Niigata. Tsubame.
Tsubame. Thank you.
Oh, that was hard.
Chris?
That was like a hard test. I was gonna try to see if I could see the picture. Like I was looking it up.
Oh, and Atlanta says it's 0 Celsius with a breeze and light snowing and a bit of ice on the old e-bike. Whew. And Atlanta, yeah, get a white one too if you're ever allowed back in the country. I like the white ones for making my knife sharp again, and I like the black ones for making it cut really smoothly. Did you see all the snow in Vancouver today, Chris?
I saw a picture on Twitter there that the folks in that shop put up.
I didn't see that, but I saw a friend.
It was a little bit on the sidewalk. It wasn't. At least there's not a ton of it in front of the Vancouver store. But
I have got a tiny chip in this knife, Chris. I hope it doesn't affect my speed on the pineapple race. When are we going to do this pineapple race? What do you think we should do? What do you think? What should the winner get? What if you win? What if you're the fastest, but it's really sloppy?
Yeah. I don't know. Alex said that you should, Alex said it'd be punishment to have to eat this pineapple because
that one's a disgusting pineapple. Mine would be, it'd be punishment to eat the whole thing. My mouth would be on fire.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You just got to eat the whole pineapple. But here, Don had yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, Don says, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use a honing rod quite like that before.
That's how I do it, man.
Yeah.
I know we tell people to do it this way because I think it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But being a burnt-out chef for 20-some years, I was always shown to do it this way, and I got good at it. But I think it's easier to learn. I think it's easier to learn. Plant it on the table like that. And I think it's easier to learn doing it this way. Maybe Chris can give us a lesson. He's the culinary instructor here.
That's true. That's something I do on occasion. Well, here, let me turn on this camera. Bloop. You see that, folks? 3 cameras. 3 cameras. Well, here, we'll move that a little bit. Hopefully touching the screen here doesn't screw it all up too bad. Am I in the right spot? Yeah. So you're looking at a honing rod, or at least the ones that we sell. You kind of got I don't know what to call this, a guard, I guess, this oval. You see how it's oval shaped. The ones that we've got, you can use that as a little bit of a guide, right? So if I line the spine of my knife, which is the dull part on the top, you line the spine of the knife up with kind of the shallow side of that oval and give it a swipe. And same thing on the back. You could do them back and forth, It's easier to learn this way, like Kevin was saying, because I think a lot of people look and they'll see, when you go to do it and you're just back and forth. Don't tell anyone, Everett. My success in life has a lot to do with the fact that people have very low expectations of me. So you keep that to yourself. Every now and again. So I just I've gotten used to holding it at the right angle, and same thing as what Kevin's doing. But yeah, every now and again you'll see Kevin does the little I would presume he was doing that because he could feel that chip on the knife, and you were trying to see if it would go.
It's right where I got a little chip on the blade, so it's just kind of thought I'd work that spot a little bit, but it didn't want to work out. I've got a little, I can see it. What it is, it's not a chip. It's a little tiny bent over bit. So I must have hit something hard. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
The loser can only drink pina colada for a month. That's disgusting. So we've got some people around the world telling us how cold it is where they are. It's interesting. This guy in Portland, the dork in Portland, it says that she's completely under snow. It's 26 Fahrenheit, which, by the way, is -3. So not too bad. And blank saying here in Texas, it's going to be 19 tomorrow, which, by the way, is about -7, -8.
Oh,
so
Texas is a good place.
That's really chilly from what I expect in Texas.
Yeah. I went through Texas once when I was a kid. I don't know if you knew this, Kevin, but I lived in the States for 2 years when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, so my dad was in the military, and I was born in Gander, Newfoundland, moved to Ottawa as an infant, and then we were in Ottawa for a couple years. Then we went I lived on, at the time it was called Queen Charlotte Island, but now it's Haida Gwaii. So we lived in Masset. So we lived there for.
You lived in Haida Gwaii. That's gorgeous, man. That's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, so I think we were there for like 3 or 4 years. And the thing that my mother gets pretty pissed off about is that her and my dad had saved up, spent a ton of money to bring my kid sister and I to Disneyland. And then the next year, my dad got stationed in Napa Valley. So in like 1990, mom spent like $15,000 or something on a family vacation. And then the next year we were paid to move there. So she was not thrilled about it, but didn't complain too much about living in California for 2 years. But I have vague memories of like, because I was going into grade 3. So we were in Napa for 1 year, and then we went to San Diego for another year. And then
how much wine did you drink when you were in Napa?
Me, none. Mom.
That's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I think my mom still got bottles from when we were down there.
Crazy.
Yeah. So but then I remember moving from San Diego to Newfoundland, and we drove. I can only really remember a little bit about like Arizona and Texas. Like I remember looking out the window and kind of just seeing that landscape. But I've always wanted to go back. That's one thing. Like I lived in all these places as a kid, but I don't really remember them. So I'd love to go back to Masset. I'd love to go back to California and just kind of experience it as an adult. You know, even Newfoundland. I haven't been back to Newfoundland since 97 when my grandfather.
You know we should do a pop-up there when we finally can. We should go back to Newfoundland. We should go to St. John's. My buddy Dan out there makes tonic and has a gin distillery. And good friend of the shop, Todd Perrin. He's got a couple of restaurants.
Yeah.
Kitty Vitty, and of course Jeremy Charles. We should see Raymond's.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like we've got some connections. It sounds like a fun time, really.
For sure. Yeah, just bring a couple suitcases of knives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's minus 30 in Wyoming. Now, is that minus 30 Celsius or Fahrenheit? I bet they're very close, though, aren't they? Minus 30.
I think you're getting to that point where they start to near.
Yeah, minus 40 is the same, right?
Yeah. Well, Dr. G's got questions about
minus 30 Fahrenheit is minus 34 Celsius. Wyoming, that's cold, man. Shit.
Dr. G's got a couple good questions here, and I happen to have the knife he's asking about right here in my hand.
Well, and I like his question there because it addresses a internet truth out there.
An internet issue, yes.
An internet issue. I know that if you go to some internet forums, they will tell you that Hadayuki blade does not come sharp. And I don't understand where that comes from. I think one or two people are shipped one that were not perfect, and there's this decision now, this truth that the knife's not very sharp.
I don't know. That seems pretty sharp. I bet you I can shave with it.
Yeah, like I've always been quite impressed actually with their sharpening. But hey, what do I know?
Well, and that's it too, though. But that's something that a lot of people do ask, right? Like, because I don't do it as much. Like, I don't spend as much time on the help desk. Like, if you were to send an email to hello@knifewear.com, that's the fastest way to get a question answered, by the way. hello@knifewear.com, because we've got staff looking at that all day. You know, if you send an email to me, well, I might be doing a video like this. I'm not looking, or sometimes I'm asleep. It happens on occasion.
Yeah.
Hello, I try to, but sometimes I stay up too late and watch too many episodes of the X-Files or eat too many chicken wings. And
you could eat a Marv bar.
I could eat a Marv. Oh, that doesn't put me to sleep. That just makes me hilarious.
You gotta get the other kind.
Yeah, I do get the one.
There's different kinds of left-handed chocolate bars, right?
Yeah.
There's the lefty chocolate bar that gives you wings and makes you chatty.
Yeah,
makes
that's
music
the one I
sound
always.
good.
Yeah.
And there's the kind that makes you sleepy.
Yeah. Yeah, I need the sleepy one. I need to try the sleepy one. But I want to say there was another part to Dr. G's question.
Anyway,
Funky.
Dr. G, yes, we can get Naoto to touch it up for you. Chances are he'll just rub it up and down on a 10,000 grit stone and go, hey, it's really sharp.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can totally get Naoto to do that for you. It'll have to ship out of Calgary, Dr. G. And we could also ask Naoto to slap on one of those fancy handles. We just got a shipment of those fancy handles. These guys, right?
Yeah.
Shipment of these fancy handles. And they're actually in Naoto's desk.
Yeah.
So he could smash off the handle the knife has and then install that. So if you wanted to, Dr. G, send Naoto an email direct, NAOTO @knifewear.com.
Yeah.
Say Chris Lord sent you.
Yeah. Well, because what he'll do too is he can take a picture, like as if because you'll want to put they come in small, medium, larges, and you're going to put a large handle on this. And he'll take a picture of the ones that he has, and you can pick one. Now they're not cheap. It's going to cost.
But they're cool. But they're cool, man. And they look so great on the plain knives like that. They look so great.
They really pop. Yeah.
They make those knives look so cool.
We put a couple on a knife, on a couple of knives for a fella last weekend. Well, Sean did. And they look awesome. He put like this dark blue and red and like purpley one.
Yeah, they make
on a Kuroshi.
Really like very simple blades.
Yeah.
Really cool, right?
Yeah. It's hard work though. It took longer than we thought.
You can't burn them on, right? You got to like take out the clean up the hole with a file and get it the right size and then glue it in, right? So it is work. Yeah, we can talk.
Usyk was asking, I have a VG10 Damascus knife with a matte finish, and the finish makes it drag. Should I have a go at polishing it?
Why not?
If you want to, yeah, do it up. Yeah, and everyone seems to blank agrees with you. If you don't worry about if you're not worried about the patterning, yeah, have a go at it. You know, start with I find sometimes because if we like re-etch like a Masakage Kumo or something like that, and you put it in that ferric chloride, it does leave like a feel. I know what you mean. Like it feels like a little bit rough. And sometimes I just gently kind of scour it with like a little bit of the barkeeper's friend on a towel. Maybe start with that, like start super gentle. Don't necessarily go right to the stones. Otherwise you're going to you might create a situation where you've got to do a lot more work. Like when I took one screw out of my motorcycle the other day, and it turned 2.5 hours of putting something back together. Because one screw turned into, I lost a nut on the inside of the bike, and then I had to take another one off to get at it, and I lost a nut inside of the bike, and it was... So start easy is my recommendation. Andy is waiting for an Kangadagyuto 210 for 3 months. Any updates?
Which one?
Yeah, which one there, Andy? Yeah, maybe if I know we'll be getting some stuff for him for a garage sale. Depending on what exactly you're looking for, I could maybe give you a bit of a date. At least tell you whether or not to expect it. But let us know. Dr. G is asking what's the average cost for the handles and their install. I believe they're 165 Canadian, and then another $20 to put them on. So, because it is a fair bit of work. And I was kind of surprised.
Well, yeah, usually we do free install on handles.
Yeah.
If it's the standard handle that we can burn on and everything, because it's not that much work, right? But those ones are a lot. They're a lot of work.
Yeah, like I would say now it's the first time that we did it in this store, but I would say like Sean, you put like an hour into each handle, eh? Or like thereabouts, yeah. Yeah, Sean said it was because we got these needle files, like these really small files, and it's just fine tuning it. It's just like a little bit more off of here, but you don't want to take too much. Like you kind of got to go slow. You can't rush it. So, Andy was looking. Oh, you're looking for a Koishi. I presume that you're on the back in stock list already.
Make sure you're on that list.
Yeah. So that's the fastest way to get one, because then what'll happen, Andy, you put yourself on. So the Koishi 210, it's out of stock. There's a little red button on the page. It says notify me when available. You click on it, you put your email in, and then you get an email when we receive the knives. You will know about those knives showing up faster than me at that point. So you'll get an email as soon as they land in the warehouse and given an opportunity to buy it before they get divvied up and shipped out to the stores. So that's the best bet. But we get Masakage stuff in on a regular basis. It's just a matter of what's been made. But if you've been waiting for 3 months, I would presume soon, because that's usually the line, that's kind of the zone that it sometimes takes when we get
the problem is, though, if it's a 210 you're after, we'll get about 40 of them, but I think there's 200 people on the waiting list.
Yeah.
Right. It's the COVID has slowed down production and shipping and everything, and we're just in this trouble right now. We just have a lot of demand for there's certain knives that have really captured people's imagination because they're great knives for a great price generally, right? But they've really, it's been really hard for us to keep them up to date.
Well, and it's one of those things, like, Kevin shared, like we were talking about an article earlier today that kind of just went into like the supply and demand of all this. And it's one of those things, they can't make them faster, because part of the appeal is that the person making them has been at it for so long. You can't just, train someone in 2 weeks and then be receiving a comparable product. But I did grab, now I don't know if we actually have these guys in stock at the moment in this isn't a Kiri, obviously. Like I'm just trying to show you the line, but the Haruyuki Shiso is very comparable to the Koichi.
I'm actually just looking for the link right now.
Okay. So you still got, now you don't have because the Koichi has that super, like Koichi means pebble, but you've got that super defined Tsuchime pattern. Whereas this is a little more, I guess you'd almost call it like a Nishiji kind of finish, although it's Kurochi meaning it's black. But it's almost got that kind of, like, it doesn't have the hard kind of Tsuchime in it. But
Chris, we're sold out of that knife too.
Oh,
which is a bummer. Yeah. Fujimoto Hammer Tone.
Yeah.
Or Fujiwara Denka. It's only $500 more.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, as I was just skimming through the website there, Chris, I saw a 240 Saji R2 that fits the bill for what Dr. G was looking for. No, was it?
Yeah. I think it was Dr. G asking about R2 and lasers. I'm pretty sure it was Dr. G. Willing to bet on it. But yeah, Andy, that's kind of like, we're doing what we can, but
and so are our blacksmith friends doing what they can too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a challenging year, sadly. And I wish I had easier, better news for you. Something to look at. If it's the koishi, if it's the kind of look of the koishi you're after, there's the Tojiro Tsuchime line that have got, again, it's got the black Damascus, or the black Tsuchime, or the black hammered look. That's really cool with a Western handle, though. If you're looking for something performance-wise that's similar, you can look at Takeda. You can look at Fujiwara Denka. That's sort of similar. What else is around there?
If you wanted to,
Hadayuki Shiso.
Yeah.
Or any of the Hadayuki Kuma
or the Yokuma. Yeah. They don't have the same look, but they're in the same performance bracket.
Even the Takamura Akagohan.
Yeah. I've got.
Which brings us to the dork here, who's saying, like a tinker tank, I'd overpay for one because it's such an elusive as a unicorn. And that's oh, Chris, there's a lot of noise in your background there.
Yeah,
excuse me. The Tinker Tank has got about 300. I looked a couple days ago, and it's 350 people on the wait list for the Tinker Tank knife, which is, he only makes kind of between 0 and 8 a month, and we get about 50 or 80% of what he makes, but it's not very many. I don't even have one, and I really want one. And Damon says he's here so we can start the show now, which is nice.
I just thought about this. I don't know, like, just to kind of go back to to give you another option, Andy, about the look of a knife, but the Moritaka Ishime has kind of got that like rough, dark finish. Now it's an ironclad knife, like there's no stain. Like one of the really nice appeals to the Masakage Koishi is that it's jacketed in a stainless steel, so like less of the knife has potential of rusting. But Moritakas were my favorite, and it's kind of a segue into fighting Usyk's question about having a personal favorite petty. I have a 130 millimeter Moritaka petty that I quite love.
My knives, as you know, Chris, are here on the wall.
Yeah.
So my knives change with the seasons, right? So I kind of have these knives up currently that I'm using in the kitchen. In about a month, I'll take some of them down and replace them with something I've got in storage, right? So I have a lot of knives kicking around. But this little guy has lived in my kitchen, and it never comes down. Now, there's a couple of reasons.
I know.
There's a couple reasons for it. It's a really fantastic knife, right? It's R2 Damascus stainless steel. It's got texture on the blade. It was made by a man called Asai-san. Asai was a great blacksmith, and he was a good guy. We had a nice relationship, and I think of him when I have this knife because he passed. Ooh,
this is before I worked here. Yeah, 6 years, maybe
7 years ago. And he was young. He was too young, right? And he passed, and I miss him. And I like to. I mentioned, like, there's a mention of him in the book that I wrote. And this is the knife. So in the book, I say there's a knife that stays in my kitchen all the time, and this is the one. So I'd have to say that is my favorite petty for sure. Mm-hmm. I wish I had a 210 or a 240 Gyuto of this. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Did anybody take?
I would overpay. I would overpay for an Asai 210 or 240. Anybody knows of one and they can find one for me, I'll overpay for it. Yamamoto has taken over, and as last time we went to visit him, as Shiba said, Shiba looked at his knives, and as we left, Shiba said, they're almost good. Mm. Or he said another time he said almost straight this time. So let's give him a few more years.
Yeah.
everybody learns, right? Everybody starts. You see his knives around, but not at our stores yet. Which kind of leads us into, there's a question somebody asked us if we have Masamoto knives. And the answer to that is we carry knives we love, and not every knife or knife maker fits in that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Andy's just told his wife that he needs seasonal knives, and she said that's the stupidest thing ever. What do I tell her? Depends on how much trouble that you want to get into, Andy. You could draw comparisons to I don't know. You could kind of zone in on something maybe your wife's got a bit of a collection of. My house, I don't know how many bags I've bought, but I only ever see one leave the house. Maybe you could get in on that. I don't know. Just depends on how much trouble you want to. I've bought a couple.
I've broken my wife from years of knife buying stupidity. It's fine now. Yeah. I was hiding knives in different stores. It was bad. I know that we've got a couple of guys that come in and buy knives and then leave the boxes with us.
I used to do that. Well, see, that's Dork, what I used to do, because I would come in with my knife bag, because I'd get the staff and here, can you tune these up? I'm going to take a look around. Because I knew if I was going to come into the store, I was probably going to buy something. I just know that about myself. But what I would do is leave the boxes here and just put it right in my knife bag. Always make sure I had an empty slot in the knife bag. And then they're like, oh, wouldn't you get that? I'm like, oh, this thing, I've had it forever. Now, that being said, I'm no longer married to the person that I did that. So that is an important caveat to my advice. Is that, I don't know, maybe that was the reason. I doubt it.
I think
Andy, have such a good haircut then.
I think, Andy, what you do is you say, honey, you're right. That is the stupidest thing you've ever heard. However, we're going to get past this. And you'll see how the happiness it brings me.
Don Penny used his Kiri Kobunka to slice up some pepperoni yesterday for pizza on the Traeger because it caught his eye, and not the best choice, but it looked good. I guess it depends on how thin you want that pepper. It depends on the pepperoni too. If you're dealing with a normal size, but it could have been a big one. It could have been that big Brooklyn style pepperoni. I got really into making pizza a couple of years ago. Remember that, Kevin? To the point where Kevin sent me a text and said, "You're not going to leave and open a pizza restaurant, are you?" And I said, No, I don't want to do that.
Well, I was thinking about it, but then you said I was thinking about it, and then I came to my senses.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just latch onto an idea and you want to get it right, But if you happen to know of a really good pepper, because you've got that Pow pizza out in Calgary that I really like, that Detroit style pizza, and the pepperoni that they have more than
two. You can't have more than a piece or two, or else
even a piece beyond the second piece, you shouldn't have.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I just got to interrupt. Some dude in some kind of a Mazda hatchback and a roof rack just drove by with what must have been 7 pallets on the roof.
On the roof.
They're all. It looked like a huge pallet birthday cake going down the street.
What's the point of that?
I don't know. Some hipster making a guitar or record stand. So hipster making furniture, taking the pallets apart. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, that's what the speakeasy at Union. That's what we built it out of. Was all pallets.
It's cool. Maybe tell us about that. I love that place, man. That's the coolest place in Ottawa.
Yeah. Well, so
it's the coolest room in Ottawa.
I used to be a partner at Union Local 613. It's on the corner of Somerset and Metcalf or O'Connor? No, it's O'Connor because it's heading south. But I was the chef there, and there was this private dining room in the basement that I actually got pretty upset about this for a really stupid reason, because it turned out to be wildly successful. But I was upset because they took my nap time area away. So there was, because my days at the restaurant where I'd get there for 8 o'clock, I would help get lunch ready. I would get through lunch service. Then I would take a nap, and then I would probably sleep for an hour, and then I would get dinner ready, and then I would go through dinner service, and sometimes I'd have to work late night. So naps were important. But we took this private dining room, and we had a good buddy of mine, Julian Garner. He's a tattoo artist and a painter here in town. And he designed the room for us and put all the work in. Him and a couple other buddies. There's another kind of local Ottawa kind of art guy named Captain Tom. Captain Tom and Julian took care of it. But yeah, the whole room was rebuilt out of pallets. I remember Julian spent like a week in the back alley of the restaurant with a Sawzall taking pallets apart. It was crazy. But yeah, because Julian did the mural inside the restaurant as well. I've got a couple pieces of his art in my house, and
on your body.
He's the one doing this arm over here, which now that things are opening up again, I'll probably have to go see him. I really don't like getting tattooed anymore, though. It hurts.
Chris, those are permanent.
It's true. It's true. But
did you know that?
I figured it out recently.
Because they're permanent. If you get a tattoo, they just stay there.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can color over them.
Well, that's even double the pain, isn't it?
That is, yeah. It's ridiculous. There are times where I'm unhappy with myself, but luckily the ones that I don't like, I can't see them. So, you know what, Dork? Dork is asking a question about the sharpening wheels, and I don't even know.
Tomos.
I just tell. Tomo?
Tomo's the brand. Tomo.
Okay.
And I buy them through a buddy that's lived in Japan for a lot of years.
Mm.
Did you ever meet Jeff?
No.
He's now the head of communications for Red Bull Europe.
Oh, you told me about him. Yeah.
He used to have a really nice life where he was really making good money and not working at all. And he traded that for making, I think, probably grotesque amounts of money and working every moment that his eyes are open.
Mm.
Not a great move, I don't think, but there you go.
No.
He might retire in a couple of years, though. I think maybe that might be his end game. It's like, I would like to retire.
That's what my dad managed to do. But that was the military thing, right? My dad.
Blank says, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Retired at 52.
Yeah, my dad joined the military when he was 17 years old and did 35 years. That's nuts.
Blank says, I got a tattoo I regret on my hand. Is it a girl's name? So that's always the trick. Don't get a girl's name tattooed on you, because you'll end up totally regretting it, probably.
Oh, that's a neat story. Don's always got neat stories.
Well, Don bit a shark once, so you know.
Yeah. Andy, you could definitely cut a pineapple with a thin nikiri, or like a takeda. Yeah, for sure. Well, what have I got here?
Maybe we should cut a pineapple. You want to cut a pineapple?
Yeah, I suppose.
So Don Benny says, I went to Everest Base Camp with the owner of New Moon Tattoo a few years ago, and he tattooed one of our trekkers at 17th. What? This is the story I've ever heard. Yeah. So you got a tattoo on Everest.
Yeah, that's good.
That's crazy. Well, Blank to get a girl's name. You got an area code tattooed on his hand. If it's 808, that's okay. That's kind of cool. My area code's 403. I don't know if that's any good.
No. No. Yeah, well, we could cut up a pineapple. Do we want to do this? Are we really gonna race, or are we gonna show someone what we're doing, or are we just gonna?
Well, I can show while I'm racing. That's how confident I am.
Oh wow.
I also am cocky because I haven't done it for 30 years really, but 30 years ago I did a lot of them. So I just think that I think that's easy.
That's the easy part. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Oh, TJ Ronan. Here we go. Before we cut into pineapple, let's look at TJ Ronan. He says Fujiwara versus Kurosaki for the best pineapple. Which one you buy? Can't decide. First world problems. I don't go for Fujiwara. His knives are carbon steel with stainless wrapped around them, but the carbon steel and pineapples don't react well. Carbon steel makes your pineapple. Chris, that's really loud. Carbon steel makes your pineapple taste like metal. Gives your pineapple a metallic taste, and it really tarnishes it quickly. So I say go with Kurosaki because he makes stainless steel knives, or at least like some stainless, not all of them, but stainless steel from Kurosaki. Otherwise, your pineapple is just not a good thing. What about cutting meat with a nikiri? Is there something between gyuto and nikiri that would do both? You can do everything with a nikiri, Andy, and you can do everything with a gyuto. If I had one knife to rule them all, if I just was only allowed one knife, I'd get a 270 millimeter nikiri or a gyuto because I can do everything with that. It's not like the Japanese knife police aren't going to jump out and arrest you if you cut meat with a nikiri. It's not going to happen. You'll be fine. Does that make sense, Chris?
It does. It's just so loud.
You've muted yourself because it's loud. I get that. Who would like to see a pineapple race? We can do a pineapple race right now. See who wins, because it's Pineapple Day, and we'll see who wins on the pineapple race. I've got a theory that I might do okay because I think Chris has only cut 20 pineapples in his life. Is there a pointy nikiri? Yeah, it's called a gyuto.
Or Santoku.
Or Santoku. Yeah, Santoku is a pointy nikiri. See these little notes right here, where I have found out that I can put little notes here, and Chris is sad now because now I can put little notes like Kevin is going to win. It's guaranteed. Let's go. Who has money on Kevin? See, I don't know what odds mean. I don't know how that works. What's minus 450 to plus 350? I don't know what that means. Japanese Knife Police 911 for our new show. There we go. That's what the new show is called. Japanese Police 911. Chris, I can't hear you. It's fun. Don Penny says they don't grow pineapples in Newfoundland. I don't understand that. Why not? I think they should. I grew up in Saskatchewan where we grew a lot of pineapple, clearly.
The pineapple fields of Saskatchewan.
The pineapple fields of Saskatchewan for sure.
I don't know why, Kevin, but I've decided to go with this Haruyuki Mugi.
Oh yeah? 210?
Yeah, I changed my decision. Yeah. I had the Kuma 210 before.
Oh, I would have gone with Kuma 210 because I like powder steel for this job. You see my pineapple?
I see your pineapple. Can you see my pineapple?
Can you see my pineapple? I don't know if that's the best phrase.
Yeah. Andy says people tell him not to use a steel on Algami Super. You can use ceramic.
Yeah, use a ceramic rod.
Are we going to do like a countdown, or what are we going to do? We're just going to go for it?
Yeah, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to have to top and tail them, peel them,
yeah,
take the eyes out. So we're not going to peel it so deep that you cut the eyes out. You lose a lot of pineapple there. take the eyes out, core them, and then cut them into those little, those little wedges that you eat on at a hotel.
At the buffet. Yeah.
The little fruit plate. How do you reckon? Here, this is what I do. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, you son of a gun.
I'm waiting till you get moving, man.
Oh, I'm here.
So take the top of the tail off, right? Take the top, and you can actually regrow that into a weird little pineapple plant. And then you want to cut the peel off like this, right? But you don't want to cut so deep that you remove the eyes. But you want to remove those kind of green scales that are there. This knife, Chris, is fantastic, by the way. If I had this knife when I was a chef, I might still be a chef. I would have been happier. It is just blasting through this pineapple. A thin knife is really the way to go, I think.
I'm being quiet because I'm already cutting the eyes out.
Oh yeah? That's where I'm going to catch you. Don't worry. That's okay. I think the odds are in your favor already because I shut my mouth off too much.
It's okay. I did buy a can of pineapple in case things got a little close.
Oh, were you going to totally cheat on that, were you?
I was thinking about it.
Pineapple go, I did it?
Yeah, but my can's not big enough.
So I'm just going to cut the eyes out like a little spiral here. It looks like a little spring when I'm done.
Yeah, that's the part where I'm not very good. This is the part where I am going to hurt myself, if I'm going to hurt myself.
There's going to be blood today. I promised Jeevan. There was going to be blood. Look at that. Isn't that cute? This pineapple smells delicious, Chris.
Mine smells like a rock.
Mine smells delicious. You shouldn't have bought the Newfoundland pineapple. I bought a Saskatchewan one. So much.
Oh, see, I almost got myself right there. With your jokes.
Hey, talking about jokes, what do you think about Switzerland? You know anything about Switzerland?
Yeah, I don't, but I hear their flag is a big plus.
I don't know why you don't like that joke, Chris. It's funny. It's funnier the more you hear it.
I see. That's where we disagree. It was funny the first time.
Just wait.
Yeah, I know.
That's my idea of humor. Find a dead horse and beat it. And then beat it some more. And when it's dead, continue beating it.
Yeah, I know. Kevin is like, I know he's doing well. Dork, you're going to get blocked. You keep it up.
Am I beating? Hey, Dork, am I beating Chris? I can't see. Because I haven't been looking. Because I don't feel like bleeding in front of everybody.
Yeah, I can't do that like smooth twist, you know?
Oh, I got kind of a little screwed up at the end. My roadmap took a turn here. I didn't end up on the same trajectory as I started.
So we used to, when we were doing the cut like a chef classes, this was the finisher. I never really did it before kind of teaching those classes. And then once I realized like I was supposed to be making things look easy, I stopped doing the pineapple.
How are we doing, Chris? Are you cutting it into quarters yet?
No.
Are you opening a can yet?
I might. Yeah, you got me. I knew you were going to have me.
So yeah, after you get it like this, right, where it looks pretty cool, and the eyes are gone, pop it into quarters, right?
Like I didn't even do a good job peeling it.
You're
Like I
too
gotta
fast.
go over it again.
And that core, if the pineapple's quite ripe, the core can be quite good too. It's a crunchy little bit. Woohoo! Slippery. So I keep the core, usually for myself. It's a good little crunchy, sweet thing on a hot day.
I read a recipe one time. It was in one of Eric Repair's cookbooks. And it was for you take all of this stuff, all the eyes and all the skin and what have you, and you make like a tea out of it. You take that liquid. It kind of fits in with what Nathan's been doing a lot of. With
So you
all
take that tea, like pineapple core tea.
Yeah. And
What are you
you
doing over there, Chris?
you know what? I'm not like as far behind as I thought I was going to be, but I'm not going to win.
These cute little guys now. We got the cute little corkscrew around them. Yeah. It's quite cute, isn't it? Because I did work at a catering company 30 years ago. And I cut a lot of pineapples. So I did have an advantage. Apparently, my muscles still remember how to do it from 30 years ago.
Well, now everyone knows that I cook a shit brisket and I can't cut up a fucking pineapple.
and then here, if I had done this better, I'd have kept all these guys together. Here, look at this. So then when you go to put it on your buffet tray, right? You scoop them up like this, and then you put them this way, and then you give them a little spin like that, and they look kind of cute on your buffet tray.
I think I should just tell everyone that I'm stoned. I'm just high as a kite.
You can use that for a little decoration. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pretty, huh? Anyway, the pineapple's good. I'm gonna eat some.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Chris.
No, I got like one more chunk to go.
That's good pineapple.
TJ, I know how to cut an onion. For God's sake. The amount of abuse I put up with.
Well, it's because you don't know how to cut an onion.
I do know how. This pineapple is awful. Fuck. It's like eating Sour Patch Kids. I like those. I didn't even get all the eyes. Like, this was a pathetic showing.
Chris, I planned to beat you, but I didn't plan to beat you this bad. That's sort of.
Yeah, well.
Well, that was like when Chris Lord or Chris Armitage and I in Edmonton had to. We were in a cooking competition.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good story.
Yeah, we were. It was a black box cooking competition. Corey at Acme Meats supplied the meat. Somebody else brought some veg in, and Chris and I, our plan, because we had to. It was us at a knife shop, right? Chris and I had a knife shop versus two chefs with what at the time in Edmonton was a really hot little restaurant at the time, right? And the competition was in their restaurant, so we were like on their turf, in their restaurant. And they had brought in two food writers and a radio personality and someone else as judges. And Chris and I, like Chris Armitage and I, our plan was just to not be embarrassed. That was we wanted to be not be embarrassed, and that was it, right? So we came out pretty strong, and we thought we'll just keep it simple. We made pierogies, I think was one of the courses, with some roast lamb with chimichurri or some kind of version of a chimichurri kind of thing, and I don't remember. I remember making an extra course just in the middle to feed to the chefs or judges just as a bribe.
Oh yeah,
quick little salad. Well, we ended up winning all votes. We ended up winning all 4 judges' votes for all 3 courses. It was terrible. I felt so
You
bad.
did like bison pierogies or something, didn't you?
That was another time that Chris and I did. Yeah, that was a dinner with Kevin Coswin, and it was venison they'd shot. Actually, it was a wild meat dinner thing, and that was at Range Road, and that was just
Okay, yeah,
it was like eight chefs from across Alberta that were meeting up, and us. I don't know why we got in that, but that was really terrible. No, that one was fun because we won, but it was really hard work. And as we're like pinching all these braised deer neck pierogies, and I'm just clearly unhappy and not liking my life, Chris just kept whispering in my ear, "Don't worry, we don't have to do this tomorrow," which was awfully nice of him. Excuse me.
You could change that.
Good. I'm pretty excited about these pineapples. I'm gonna really enjoy eating this pineapple tonight.
Well, I'm eating my canned pineapple.
I've actually got a ham lined up for tonight, so I might glaze it, put pineapple on it.
Oh, and Dr. G just asked, how much is a pierogi worth?
Oh, if I'm pinching the pierogies, the price has gone up a lot. I don't, at least for other people.
I think he's getting at how much did a pierogi cost you recently?
Oh shit, yeah. Pierogies are about $3,200 a piece. So Chris and I last week had joined this challenge with Operation Come Home as a fundraiser to feed ourselves on $24 a day, because Operation Come Home.
$24 for the week, Kevin.
Oh, sorry, $24 a week. Yeah. Oh, yeah, $24 a day would have been a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I could have just eaten out every day, every meal. $24 a week. It was a fundraiser for Operation Come Home that works with homeless youth, hoping that trying to keep the homeless youth from turning into homeless adults, right? And we're raising funds. I actually shot my mouth off at the beginning and said I would double any money I raised if I cheated, thinking I was going to raise $800.
Yeah.
Also planning from day one to cheat. Not a lot, but just like cheat one time and go, oh, I cheated. I have to double the money, thinking I'd do like $800, right? Well, I ended up raising $6,400, like $6,400. And I cheated. I ate 2 pierogies one night, cold out of the fridge, just desperate. And I was honest about it. So each pierogi cost me $3,200. That sucked.
You know what's nuts? So I'm eating my canned pineapple here. This can of pineapple cost the same amount as this pineapple did.
Yeah, but one of them tastes good.
It's true. It's this one here. I think this is probably up there with one of the most hillbilly things I've ever done. I'm sitting here looking the way I'm looking, wearing the hat I'm wearing, drinking pineapple juice out of a tin can. Not bad though.
Oh, I'm just digging through here. Apparently, there was some comments that I couldn't see because I was cutting.
It's mostly people making fun of me, I think.
Fiber. Look at that. Kevin's cruising. Thanks for noticing, Dork. Kevin's technique looks faster, says Maxime. Chris is fighting you 6 on your size. Your pineapple will win with the style.
Thank you. Thank you. Well.
And TJ Ronan, who's right, says apparently you can't cut pineapples either, as well as onions.
You know, if you guys keep like being mean to me, like I'm gonna stop doing these videos.
Yeah, I'm told you can't do lamb either without calling the fire department. But to be fair, your fried chicken looked good, I was told.
Yeah. I know what I'm good at, all right? I never claimed to be a pineapple whiz.
Hey, Trevor's on your side. He says, no good. He says, you're in lockdown time.
Oh, that's true.
You're in lockdown, so everything takes time in lockdown. It's not fair. Don
I don't know that I should.
An instructional. He says we should make an instructional video about it. You know what we should do when we start our TV show? We should have a race again.
I'll start practicing.
Well, I'm going to see if I can find one of those little tiny pineapples, like the little toy pineapples. Sour Patch Kids are made in Canada. Never knew. I didn't know either. Oh, Andy's on your side. Andy says, perfection takes time. Cooking should never be a race. It's always a competition. Cooking's always a competition. Whether it's a speed competition or a who made better food competition.
Or who can harass their coworkers more efficiently, not get caught.
A person was hit by a bus after he claimed pineapple goes with pizza. Also, I lost my bus driver license today. There we go. Do you like pineapple on pizza, Chris?
I didn't for a very long time. I've got a pretty complicated answer to this. Okay.
Oh, I want to hear a complicated answer.
Yeah. So, if I'm ordering a pizza from just like a run-of-the-mill place, I don't like pineapple on pizza. I don't like the canned pineapple I just ate. I just, you know what? I wouldn't put that on a pizza.
I agree with you there. I wouldn't also put that on pizza.
Yeah. Now, but what I've done, and it was because of this Pow Pizza place, they make like a Hawaiian style pizza, and I've kind of replicated it at home.
Right.
With like some roasted pineapple or grilled pineapple, but like a fresh one.
Right.
With like maybe like some spicy like barbecue pork or bacon or something like that. Like if you kind of go like sweet and spicy, like the traditional Hawaiian pizza, I am not down. Don't like it.
Right.
But I will argue that it could fit on something. Like Damon says he's got a pizza with pears, pecans, and blue cheese on his menu.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm coming over. Where's Damon?
I don't know. I don't remember where Damon is.
Is Damon in New York?
I don't think Damon's in New York.
Damon, where are you? We're coming over for pizza today. Today. I'm driving. Well, I'm not driving. The car I'll drive. Luckily, I don't have to drive anymore.
Fighting Usyk made a pizza with pineapple the other night, but burned it. He should have put it on Aloha temperature.
Oh, my God.
That is a good one. I'll give you that, Usyk.
Terrible.
Damon's in Niagara. We could hit up Damon sometime.
We should.
Niagara, yeah.
We'll bring the. We'll do Knife 101 from Damon's restaurant in Niagara. I'll be drunk if we're in Niagara. They have wine there, I'm told.
They do, yeah. I don't know. I would just put like big chunks of crispy bacon on it. Yeah, I don't really call. So Dork is saying what kind of bacon, because Canadian bacon is not bacon. I almost never call it Canadian bacon. We don't call it that. We call it back bacon or pea-meal bacon.
Female bacon?
Pea-meal.
As opposed to male bacon?
Oh my God.
That is so weird, Chris. Why would it, who calls it that? That must be a Newfoundland thing.
You know what I'm saying. God damn it.
Female bacon? It's weird. I call it back bacon.
Yeah. But yeah, no one here calls it Canadian bacon. I don't think. Maybe my in-laws do because they're from Ireland.
I call it Canadian bacon when I'm talking about the TV show. Or the film, I mean.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, Andy, I'm not a big fan of cooking competitions.
Actually, let's talk about that. Andy says, as an 88 graduate of the CIA, that means Andy's older than me because I didn't graduate high school till 88. Chris wasn't even born yet.
I was, but I was 3 years old.
You're an idiot. I hate you. I'm sorry. That was really, really mean.
It's fine.
I despise you for your youngness.
This has more to do with my parents than me, to be honest.
I would never say anything bad about Big Deb. She'll kill me.
No, yeah, she'd fuck you right up.
Anyway, Andy says, as an 88 graduate of the CIA, which is the Culinary Institute of America, really hotshot cooking school, not the California Bureau of Investigation or whatever it's called. Cooking competitions and shows are a show of false in a chef. It isn't always glorified career, but rather a passion for food. I have to agree with 100% of that. I don't like watching cooking competitions. I think they're stupid. I think they set people up for failure. Just like that show, what's it called? Forged in Fire. Stupid show. But yeah, it's set up to be a TV show, right? Like, It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People like watching it, and it's cheap TV to make, so it's popular for that. But I'm with you. Cooking is not a competition. Cooking is cooking, right? Mm-hmm. But that being said, every time you get 8 chefs together to do a meal, and each chef does one course, it's a competition.
Well, I was saying this the other day when I was chatting with Nathan, is that it's only been the past little bit, like really like if I've worked at Knifewear, it'll be 6 years next month that I've worked here. And it's only been yeah.
That means I've known you for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I still like you.
I know. I have that effect on people.
Yeah. I usually get sick of somebody by 3 years.
Yeah, well, that's because I live in Ottawa and you live in Calgary. You don't have to.
It's because you're like an onion. You're layers, right? Which is why you never have to do those horizontal cuts on an onion.
That's right. Yeah.
The layers are already separated, so you just have to cut it this way and then this way.
That's why you don't like cooking competitions. They'd fucking throw you out of there right away when they saw you dice an onion.
You mean when they saw how fast and accurate I diced an onion, they would be upset about the other people that did it. Stupid.
Oh, they would just say that
they would say this is not fair. It's not fair.
That's when like the guys in the casino come and say like, oh, you're doing really well. The boss wants to talk to you.
Yeah. What's that show I like? Moneyball. I think that show Moneyball. And Brad Pitt's the manager of a baseball team, and he's trying to trade somebody. That's really good. And they're like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with him? Is he injured? Why do you want to trade him?" He's like, "No. He's got to go, man. He's making the other players look bad. He's just making them look bad. He's got to go." Anyway, sorry, Chris. Go on. Cooking competitions. Cooking.
Yeah, but I was gonna say like, even going out to eat in a restaurant was a form of competition. You know, like you and I have been out for dinner before. We always make a comment here and there about like, what's that person doing? If I can get to work, you know, or like, but you just like kind of having spent, and I'm sure a lot of people here would agree with us, or I'm hoping, but like if you've spent that much time in that work environment, you can't help but be critical of what you're experiencing, because everything becomes like, well, I might have done it this way, or I like the way that they did it, or whatever, right? Like, and it always became like that was because, you know, how do you get better at something, right? You experience it more. Like I read this book one time, Mason recommended it to me. It's called On Writing by Stephen King.
Ah, yes. I hear he wrote a book before.
He's written a few. And when I was younger, I was always like, oh, Stephen King. Everybody likes Stephen King, you know? But there's got to be something.
Because he can bloody write. And he's got some crazy ideas.
Yeah. So, but he says in it, the only way, if you want to be a better writer, you got to read more and you got to write more, right? So if you want to be a better chef, what are you going to do? You got to cook more. You got to eat more.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. That's what I used to do on my days off. My days off were just R&D days. You'd go to a different restaurant for lunch, or you'd go to one for dinner and get some ideas from other places. So it's only been in the last couple of years where I've been able to just turn it off and enjoy the time in a restaurant.
It took me, because I've been out of restaurants now 14 years, almost to the day. No. Yeah, 14 years, like almost to the day. And it was January 3rd that I got fired from my last job. And yeah, thank God, right? Whew. But now it took me 8 years before I could go to a restaurant and actually enjoy it as a restaurant and not be overly critical and not be just nasty.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. I actually, for years, I would sit with my back to the kitchen because I couldn't look into it. Just stress. Because that industry really killed me. It was trying to kill me with my extracurricular activities, and it was bad. It was bad. Andy says, Andy's 52, by the way, and I'm 50, so I get you, Andy. This kind of D&D kid in front of me here, who's what are you, like 9? How old are you?
I'm 9 years old, yeah.
It's a good beard for 9.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite large for 9.
But you're on the
I'm a good foot and a half taller than my
4 rugby team.
Yeah, they bumped me up into grade 9, so I could play with them.
But anyway, Andy says sometimes our worst enemy, as we get new graduates that think they need to be glorified, it's not about that at all. It's customers do the glorifying. I get that. I've been a young cook who thought I was hot shit, and 2, I've worked with a lot of young cooks who thought they were hot shit. I was put in my place too often, and then I put a few in their place. So Chris, hold on. So Andy went to the CIA, which is a really hot shot cooking school, and you went to Charlottetown. What's that one they're called?
Culinary Institute of Canada. It's part of Holland College.
That's a really hot shot cooking school in Canada too. It's probably the hot shot cooking school. Maybe the one in Vancouver as well.
Yeah. There's a good one in Stratford, Ontario too, I hear.
Yeah. I didn't go to a hot shot cooking school. I went to one that just gave me a piece of paper so I could fuck off and get a job.
Yeah.
What was the experience like going to school?
Well, I had spent about 3 years working in restaurants before I went to culinary school. So I started off as a dishwasher at a golf course. It's a golf course up by the airport. It's a military golf course called Highlands. So I did dishes on Saturday and Sunday morning, and I did that for the summer I turned 15. And then when they closed the golf course for the season, my dad's younger brother, he was a cook there, and he got a job at a restaurant downtown. It's not around anymore. It was the Ritz on Clarence Street. And it was just kind of that Byward Market, like we call it Italian because we make pasta, but it really isn't. You know what I mean? Like that 90s Italian?
Yeah.
And I worked there throughout the rest of high school, kind of just working those Saturday, Sunday shifts.
Right.
And then I decided, I don't know what really pushed me. Like, I like to tell stories about like the idea of like, oh, I just want to stay up all night and whatnot. I don't know. I just thought cooking sounded easier than university, and there was nothing about university that really spoke to me. Like, I wouldn't say like I turned into I never really had dreams and aspirations of opening a restaurant until after culinary school.
But you did open one.
Yeah. But I guess like I wasn't that kid. Like, I'm not going to lie to anybody and be like, oh, I was the kid like cooking with grandma and like all that shit that they tell you on cooking schools or on cooking shows. Like I didn't come from a house that, like, my mom is a good cook, but it wasn't like a gourmet household. We don't have like a ton of family history tied up in food. Right. So it wasn't until I went to culinary school and I kind of got the idea in my head, like, oh, I could actually make a go of this. There's a whole other world to it. Because when I was in culinary school, my original goal was, because it was a 2-year program, I was going to do the 2 years, and then I was going to go back and take pastry for a 3rd year, and then attempt to get a job as a pastry chef in a hotel, because like when I did my research, like that's where the money was, right? So really? That's what I thought. But then
you don't have the temperament.
No,
Every pastry chef I've worked with cries by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And they leave chocolate handprints everywhere.
Yeah. So, but then
did I mention the crying?
The crying, yeah. I have my moments, you know. But yeah, so it was while I was in culinary, I had some really great instructors who are still around out there. That kind of, I never really considered the idea of like fine dining or casual fine dining like as an avenue, but that was kind of what I fell into, and I really liked it. So that was the direction that I had went. I thought culinary school was good for me. I'm not the sort, to be perfectly honest, like blank says that they didn't go, they just kind of learned as they went. I'm not great at being self-motivated. So
that's exactly what you should be telling your boss.
Well, you know, you keep me around, you tell me I do a good job.
You should just get on camera in front of your boss and say, I'm not good at being self-motivated.
Yeah. An 18-year-old version of me would have been happy to sit around and play video games all day. But what I liked about school was that, But you know, what I liked about school was that it just kind of like, here's the things you got to know and you got to learn them to get out. Like I did very well in culinary school, but I think if I don't know what direction I would have went if had I gone just kind of the learn as you work or even an apprenticeship. I don't know if I would have had the same direction that I got from school, but I had a great group of teachers. Like I really jived with a lot of them. So,
right.
You know, well, but yeah, I graduated like Steve Wall and I, who owns Supply and Demand. Steve and I lived together in second year culinary school for a little bit. There was a bunch of people, a lot of like Charlotte Langley. She's down in Toronto. She owns a company now called Scout Canning. They do like fancy canned seafoods, like kind of, you know how like you get the really nice like Spanish seafood in a tin, but like Canadian stuff, like PEI mussels or like Nova Scotia albacore. So, yeah.
Where can I get that? I know Charlotte. I keep running into her in weird places.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and I get weird text messages from you that are just pictures of you and Charlotte. Like, what's she doing in Calgary?
Or Wolfville, Nova Scotia, or Vancouver, or Victoria, or Toronto. I run into her in weird places, man.
Yeah, but the stuff I've bought some of it. I quite like it. The butcher shop near my house, the one that I like. I'll see if I can find it here for you. I imagine you know my friend Dan, who owns North Sea. You might be able to get it there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if I can find somebody out here, because those I've always liked the Spanish and Portuguese canned fish because they're fantastic, right? I'm not against things like canned salmon, because you take a piece of fresh salmon, stick it in a can, put a lid on it, and then they go and bake it in the can for hours, right? And none of the flavor escapes. You just get this beautiful flavor. It's great. I see blank saying I never went to culinary school. I just learned as I went. And I'll tell you what, I worked at a place in London called St. John for years with a guy named Fergus Henderson. And Fergus Henderson never went to cooking school. He worked in restaurants, right? He worked in restaurants where he was the chef almost exclusively. I don't think he ever worked underneath somebody. He just worked in a couple of restaurants that he was the only employee. And then him and Trevor, well, yeah, no, I guess he took over. I think it was the French House in Soho, and then him and Trevor opened St. John. So Fergus, self-taught completely, and a huge inspiration and a huge mentor for me. And which fits nicely into this comment here, where Lana, my buddy in London, she says, Kevin fed me tripe. And I did, because she came to visit me at work one day. She was eating with some friends, and I saw them come in, so I sent them out a little treat of some deep fried tripe with some malt vinegar, and it was delicious. And because the chef had sent them presents, they felt obliged to eat it, and she was very sad, which makes me laugh. And I see Andy said something very big here. What's that all about?
I'll read it out for anyone on YouTube there. So Andy says CIA was amazing with all the information of us. We were lucky to leave with 50% of it. I've never had a job in my life other than food service. Started at 13 years old as a busser, but always got in trouble for staying with the cooks and not doing my job. So they transferred me to a prep cook, and they are now the executive chef at a hospital and able to help heal patients and public with great 5-star food. I've been a chef throughout the US and Germany. Oh, and then we've got some knife questions.
Maybe we should talk about knives.
We could. What do we got here? Dr. G, what is the third knife to the right behind you? That one? That's the right? Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is. That is a funny
cool
little
knife.
shape in it. But that is a cool knife.
Yeah, so this is the Homura Kogetsu from Doi-san. And this is the 240 Tsujihiki, which, to be honest, had it not been made out of carbon, I considered it for the pineapple race. It's made out of blue carbon steel, something that
that'd be a great shape for the pineapple race.
Yeah,
you could have used an advantage.
I could have used every little bit of help I could get. See, but now what we're going to have to do, I'm going to wave this knife at you like I'm like telling you the story. Now I've got to come up with some sort of challenge for you that is completely one-sided.
Yeah, like anything to do with a barbecue.
Getting drunk and setting fires. You're pretty good at that now.
Bracing lamb neck in a kitchen in a
knife store. Oh.
And having the fire department show up.
How far along this recipe can you get before the fire department shows up? Yeah. You know what?
Maxime says maybe we should have an onion competition. That could be the first. That could be the first episode of our new TV show. We could have an onion cutting competition, and we could have like all of the Knifewear staff vote on it.
We could.
Would the Knifewear, all of the Knifewear staff, would they be a good judge?
I think so. I think I could bribe the majority of them.
Jerk.
I've got 4 votes here. Easy.
They haven't seen my technique.
Don't need to. If they know what's good for them. They gotta work with me when the cameras are off.
True.
But I did want to mention, because I imagine you're the guy who knows about this, more about the new Fujimoto line, and I'm going to grab a knife to show the Portland door.
I didn't even see that question pop up. With the new Fujimoto line, I'm assuming you're meaning the one that hasn't been released yet, but should be any day now. Like it should arrive in Calgary really soon. It is white carbon steel and Kurochi finish. And it looks a whole lot like the Muskogee Mizu line. It's a bit cheaper, but what I like about the white carbon steel is it's the steel on the edge on white carbon often tends to deform rather than break or blunt. So you can re-straighten it again with a strop or a leather or either a leather strop or a homing rod. You can re-straighten it. And white carbon steel, man, it's so easy to get a blazing edge. So the new Fujimoto line that if I'm understanding, it's the one that we haven't had yet. It'll be, like I said, it'll be white carbon steel. It will be Kurochi finish, and the handle is I can't remember which handle we chose. Anyway, whatever it was, I loved the look of it at the time. And I really knife. And the price isn't crazy. Like I think a Santoku and an Akiri like 120 bucks for hand hammered knife. It's crazy good price. So that's my information about the new Fujimoto line.
Yeah.
What's that, Chris?
This.
I know what that is. I've got one of those.
Yeah. It's the Kangadagyuto from Doi-san.
With that ebony handle too. Beautiful.
Yeah. So this is the 195 Kangadagyuto. It also comes as a 225, which are kind of funny sizes. So, stick about an inch on the end of it. But it's a super thin edge, but a pretty kind of hefty knife. I know that Mark Lapine bought one of these once for his sous chef who was leaving.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's a nice man. He is a nice man.
Here, I just put up the link in the comments, and they're in the I don't know what that's called, the captions. But there's the link to that knife. Listen, I saw Mark is opening the restaurant again here right away. Have you heard he's opening for 45 course meals?
That's too many.
Might have been 40. Are you joking? I think that's brilliant. I can't wait. You got a beer there?
Mm-hmm. I earned it.
Chris,
I've been humiliated.
You're working, Chris.
Don't worry, it's just a baby beer. It's just a baby. I'm not going to drink it real fast. It's like a stout. We've got this customer here in Ottawa.
Just one? Or do you have more than one?
There's more than one. There's a lot. But Ross is a lot like Don, and it's not expected, but they always come with treats.
He fought a polar bear. He bit a shark.
Ross would definitely have done those things. But he just really likes this beer, and when he just always picks us up a little 4-pack of them. Just a little chocolate stout, Vox stout. I don't know the first thing about any of this. Maybe there's some hop heads watching who could tell me more about it, but I don't drink a ton of stouts. Well, I like the really easy ones, Like I'll drink it. I actually think like if you're trying to win a race, actually this is a race that I'm pretty confident I could beat you in, Kevin. It's chugging a pint of stout.
Oh, I'm up for that. I'm not good at that, but I'm willing to try.
I'm quite good. I'll start training.
Oh, I thought you were going to start training this second.
No, this one's too bubbly. The chug a bit. So
yeah, you need the nitro ones. You need the nitro ones, right?
Yeah, the nice smooth ones. Andy has asked if we can show examples of a tall nakiri and the purpose. Do you have a nakiri at home right now, Kevin? Because I don't have a deal.
Do you have a Moritaka or a Masakagi? Because those are the tall ones.
I've got a zero. I've got a Masakagi.
And there's a reason why those ones are tall. Is because I like tall nakiris, and I asked them to make us tall nakiris. Because I worked with Masakagi knives to help them design their knives, and I've asked the Moritakas just to make them taller, right? And the reason being is that one, I'm 6'3", which is tall, and I like nakiris for a lot of heavy vegetable work, and I always have to reach down so far. So even just by raising my knife up an inch, it helps my back. One, and two, I think it looks rad. And three, I really like to keep my nakiris incredibly sharp, so I'm sharpening quite a bit. So what happens is the knife gets shorter, a little bit smaller every time you sharpen it. So after about 5 years of weekly sharpening, a tall nakiri that I like will be reduced to the size of a normal or a standard nakiri. So that's why I like them tall.
Yeah. So yeah, the zero here, this knife would be a taller one as compared to like this Haruyuki Shiso, which is more of a
very different, right?
Size, right?
Yeah.
You kind of see them there. So I'm in agreement too. I've got a Denka Nakiri. It's the only Nakiri I own, but it's about this size.
Yeah.
And
I
same
guess
reason.
mine is a little bit taller than a standard Nikiri.
Yeah.
Because I've got the same. You and I've got matching knives on this one.
Yeah, we do in a couple of instances.
But this one is interesting because it's an unusual knife that we've got matching ones. And this one was getting a workout this morning, actually. Cutting all kinds of things that you're not supposed to cut with an Akiri.
Well, it's funny because you had mentioned the Japanese knife police. I often I refer to it as Japanese knife magic. That there's no spell on your Nikiri that won't allow you to slice a chicken bone. So
people that like Nikiris too tend to find a zillion uses for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what you want to, Andy is asking about using it like kind of scooping stuff up with a Nikiri. What you want to do is there's not really like.
Make sure you cut your palm badly because that's always fine.
So, I guess my other camera died. So let me just.
Sure, the camera died. That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, let me just move some stuff here. So what you want to make sure you're doing, Andy, is that like your knife is a little more level with the board, so you're not going to dig it in and you're not going to drag it across, and just, be careful. Did you finish?
Be careful.
Yeah, being careful is the. Oh.
I like bloop. Be careful.
Bloop.
Oh, somebody else has joined in here. Who's that?
Yeah, that's Sean. He's trying to. Where's the button? It's there.
Sean, you're on air. Yeah, I've invited Sean.
There we go.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know why it died, but here is a Nikiri that I can chop things with. And then here's a little piece of terrible pineapple. So what I would do is if you were going to scoop it, right, you would just make sure that like your knife is fairly flat on the cutting board and you just don't want to be scraping. That's where issues are going to happen. Scraping is going to dull your knife a lot faster than you expect it to and up the chances of chipping it. I would say the majority of chips that I deal with, the really like the small ones, are because of scraping on a cutting board.
Oh yeah.
We don't need to look
scraping
at
and twisting.
Now it's
scraping and twisting.
Yeah, it's almost never. Like usually, I find like a chip knife usually starts with the phrase, I could probably get away with it once.
Yeah, or I wonder if this is a bad idea.
Yeah. And then Andy is asking about why did the Nikiris have a rounded point instead of like a true point, like a pointy point? The Moritaga ones do. A lot of the blacksmith these days seem to make that rounded point because a lot of people do like to rock chop with their knives. And if you try to do that with one of the really pointy Nikiris, you'll just gouge out little bits of your cutting board. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. But if you look at this here, got a Bocho. So this is a Chinese cleaver from Jara. And if you look, that's a true point there. That's a true point with a tiny bit of a chip in it. Oh, there you go. That is my knife there with a tiny bit of a chip tip. So there you go. It happens to everybody sometimes. But that's quite a knife. I like this guy. I put it on a potato and it falls through. Just the weight of it falls through potatoes. But it's got a real tip. So Chikubochos do, and the Moritaga knives have a true tip on them. But it's uncommon.
Yeah. Don, if you've got a couple little microchips in the edge, swing it by and we'll get those out for you. That's not a big deal.
Better bring some brisket.
It's not a big deal at all.
That's a huge deal. If it's Dawn, it's a huge deal. Anybody else is normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, do we have any announcements, Chris? You're supposed to say subscribe and ding the bell. Say it.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to, I don't know what that means, though. I wish I knew what it meant, and then I could say it with some confidence.
Subscribe. So you should subscribe to our YouTube channel and ding the bell and pull down your pants. And,
what Kevin is trying to say is that if you because there's a lot of people that we recognize here, but if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get announcements. You'll get a notification. Well, the notification comes if you click on the little bell icon. That's what Kevin means by ding the bell.
Click that bell. Ding the bell.
Yeah. So if you subscribe and then click on the little bell, the notifications, you'll know whenever we've put out a new video or if we're about to go live, things like that. So just makes it easier to hang out. So next week when we do our show, it's going to be on Tuesday, but 2 hours later. So it's going to be 4 o'clock Mountain Time.
So back to our normal time.
Back to the pre-Christmas lockdown time.
Right.
So it's going to be once a week on Tuesdays, and then it's going to be.
Do we have a plan?
I think we do. I think we've got some sort of schedule up, but I don't know what it is.
We could.
I think I know more about Switzerland than I do what I'm supposed to be talking about on Tuesday. That's for sure.
Their flag's a big plus, I hear.
That's what I've heard.
And they could watches, and their flag's a big plus.
What are we talking about on Tuesday?
I think we're talking about onions.
I think Nathan says. Our thing says it's the Knifewear quiz show.
I don't know how to do a quiz. We should figure out how to do a quiz on this. How do you do a quiz? Somebody give us an idea. I love the idea.
Just ask, you know what? It's one of those things where it's just maybe we just ask people questions and then they can put their answers in and then we just award them points like on whose line is it anyways.
Good thinking. Here's an example.
I don't think we should be relied on.
Here's an example of the kind of questions you might face at the Knifewear quiz. True or false? Tom Waits.
I'm going to tell everyone right now.
It's clearly false, Chris, because Tom waits for no man.
This is what everyone's going to want to do. If you want to succeed at the quiz, there's a movie that you're going to have to watch. It's called Frank. You've got to watch the movie Frank.
I was going to take all the Frank questions out, but we can put them in if we're going to tell everybody to watch Frank. With Michael Fassbender. The role that made Michael Fassbender a household name.
So you want to watch this movie Frank. You want to listen to the Tom Waits album
Big Time.
Big Time. Yeah.
Yeah, likely Big Time's a good one.
And you're going to want to... There probably won't be anything knife related whatsoever. Wouldn't hurt to flip through Kevin's book. Just in case.
Yeah, especially page 302 with the spelling errors.
Yeah, if you can find the typos, that's probably worth checking out. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I come up with any questions or not.
Why?
Because you're just going to do the Switzerland flag thing over and over again.
You sound so defeated.
Yeah. I'm just trying to set everyone up for success here, you know?
Don't be sad. You can come up with questions. You could be like, name the 4 ingredients in a bechamel.
That sounded defeated.
Yeah. By the way, it's milk, a studded onion, butter and flour. Oh, and salt. A roux, a studded onion, butter and salt.
Do you know what the French word is for the studded onion?
Le onion de stud?
No,
Le punk rock onion. Le punk rock onion.
Des oignons punk rock. Fun fact, I barely speak any French, but I make fun of Alex so often that I can kind of pull it off.
So what do you call a studded onion in French?
It's onion piqué. It's a white onion that has a bay leaf pinned to it with a clove.
I prefer des oignons punk rock.
Des oignons punk rock, right? Troy says, what's the response time of the Ottawa Fire Department to the Ottawa store?
Great question.
That'd be a good question. Yeah. We would accept too fucking fast as a correct answer.
How about how many lamb necks does it take to burn down a knife shop?
Yeah, one. We could also ask questions like,
who knows how to cut an onion?
Yeah. Well, that's still up for debate. Pineapples are pretty clear, though. Pineapples are pretty clear.
I won.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. Troy Glover says now the fire department just parks in front of the shop waiting.
They do have other things to do. All right.
Chris, Lord.
Well, you know what? Did a bill ever come? Did we ever get a bill? Bill never showed up here.
Well, they never come to me, so I don't know. We go to other people.
Yeah.
Listen. Kevin at knifewear.com. Send me questions that should go on the Knifewear, the Japanese Knife 101 quiz. I'll include as the weirdest ones we can get.
Yeah.
I like those.
Fighting Usyk says, what Knifewear employee told his boss he was not self-motivated and then cracked a beer? You know what? Here's something though, guys. In my defense, if you expect anything other than, look at me for God's sake. Really, get a look at me and tell me that your expectations are something. It doesn't make sense to me.
I love that. That's an excellent question. Fighting Usyk, you better send me an email, Kevin at knifewear.com, and I'll put all your questions in the Knifewear quiz.
Yeah, I like how Japanese Knife 101 has turned into let's torment poor Chris. You rascals.
I like it went that direction.
Yeah,
it got a different direction that I didn't like as much.
Yeah.
Like let's torment.
Yeah, that's what Twitter's for.
Oh God. I'm fast at blocking. I must have blocked 8 million people by now.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it now. Then they just make another one. They just make another little bot just coming at you all the time.
That's okay. They get blocked. It's fine. They love it. They love it.
It's like you're playing Space Invaders.
I just like zap, 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 zap.
You just zap. Well, it's past.
Hey, listen. What are you gonna eat? What are you gonna eat tonight? What do you got plans?
I don't know. There's no kids home tonight. They all went to their other parents' house.
Oh,
so I might get to eat something that tastes good. Maybe it depends on what's in the fridge. I don't know what I got at home right now. I do have some. You know what? I made some Calrose rice yesterday. I usually go for I'll just do a little rice pilaf. The kids like a rice pilaf. They don't know that they like it because I just call it chicken rice.
Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah, you gotta be good about that, right?
Yeah, so they don't know that they like rice pilaf, but that's I do a lot of that. I do a lot of pilaf at home, but every now and again I'll put the Calrose rice in the rice cooker. So I got a container of leftover rice. So I was thinking about making some onigiri over the weekend.
Oh, I'll be straight over.
Yeah.
I do like me an onigiri.
Yeah. Oh, Usyk's already sent you the email, he says. Everett says, Don Penny picked up some chicken hearts the other day, so that'll be supper. You going to grill those? What are you going to do with those, Don?
Sorry, Mount Everest said that Don Penny picked up some chicken.
No. He's Mount Everest.
I didn't understand.
Sorry, I Kevin, I've had a half a beer. That don't make sense anymore.
I don't understand. I think maybe something's going on here.
Yeah. Well, Don Penny got chicken hearts, and I'm curious what he's going to do.
So he's cooking chicken hearts for his roommate Mount Everest.
I think so, yeah. But Everest said that they're going to make a stuffed pasta with ground venison. And what should they put in there with them?
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of dried wild mushrooms that I reconstituted, and I've got some chicken breast skin on and bone on. That might be dinner tonight. I don't know what it is, but
you could do just roast them up with like some pan gravy. That'd be good.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is I've got these wild mushrooms, and I did find some arboreal rice, and I found some polenta. So we can go a couple directions there, or I believe there's a tiny splash of cream left as well. So cream and wild mushrooms and roast chicken on the bone. I'm sure this can work out somewhere. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you could go. See, whenever it said like stuffed pasta with ground venison, I was thinking of like a cannelloni kind of thing.
Well, I got some gyoza wrappers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Got cabbage.
That'd be good.
Got cabbage. I got some gyoza wrappers. Life can be good.
You know what I might make, Everest? Just because it would be easier, is I'd make lasagna. Just because I couldn't be lasagna. Yeah, Garfield loves the stuff.
He hates Mondays, though. Man, he hates
Mondays, yeah.
Worse.
Don, chicken hearts would be really good on the Conroe. Like
on a stick.
Easy, yes.
It's almost like we've had that in Japan quite a few times.
Yeah, a handful of times. Damon is going to roast some potatoes in beef fat from a A5 Wagyu steak. You know what? I've only ever had Wagyu beef once. And it wasn't a particularly good cut. Like, it was like finger meat, like the stuff in between the ribs.
Oh, that's the best.
It was really good. It was like really tasty. But I don't understand, like, I stopped cooking before Wagyu beef became more accessible.
Well, did you ever go?
Is A5 the good ones? I did, but we didn't go to like a fancy like teppanyaki.
Yeah, but you know the place I like.
Yeah.
In Kyoto, because they've got their top 20 things listed, right?
Yeah.
And the number one is the fat on the intestine on the grilled. Yep. Number two is the tripe soup. Number three is the other kind of fatty intestine. Number four is the finger meat.
Is that what that is? Because we just didn't end up eating the fatty intestine. We eat like lots of that.
That's because it's good.
It is good. But yeah, I know like that term gets thrown around quite a bit, the A5. Is that like the good one? Is that the best one? Or is that the okay one? Or what is that?
I don't know.
Do you know? I don't know. I know that there's a place here. So like there's a bunch of Ottawa folks watching. And Dawn has told me about this place. There's this place called the Finch Market outside of Ottawa. Now, Finch is a tiny town near where I grew up, which has no business having a store in it that would have Wagyu beef. Like, I have no idea how I need to go out there because it doesn't make sense to me. Because when I think about Finch, I think about getting on a snowmobile and stealing street signs. I don't think about high-class ingredients. So, but everyone tells me that's the place to go for like barbecue stuff. So, and I looked up, Kevin, to go back to something we talked about before, Scout Canning. You can get it. Tell me if any of these places sound familiar, because I haven't heard of any of them.
Okay.
There's somewhere called Penny Buns Mushrooms.
Well, that's your buddy.
Street.
That's your buddy Dirk.
Oh, that's Dirk? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's got it. Well, that makes sense. They worked together at one time. We've got Luke's Drug Mart. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I go to buy. That's where I go to buy soft serve ice cream, coffee, deodorant, and LP.
Okay. Sounds about right then.
Hipster.
Okay. And then there's a place called Our Daily Brett. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I like
Okay.
bread. When I'm
So
up that
those
way, I
three
stop for
places.
coffee with bread often.
Okay.
Perfect.
So those three places you can get the Scout canning stuff. Now they do an albacore tuna with like basil, like a pesto with the tuna.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. There's like a mussels and like a smoky pepper kind of sauce. I've had that one too, which I quite like. And they do like just lobster meat, like canned lobster meat as well. But I haven't had that. I haven't bought the lobster yet. But I've had those other two products and I like them quite a bit.
Right. I might just head out right now. My bike needs a bike ride in the full sun. So it's -20 here right now. But it's full sun in Calgary, which means it'll feel like -11. Full sun this town.
That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, no, it makes it like a 9-degree difference. It's massive. It just feels warm. If you're in the sun, it feels about 9 degrees warmer than the air temperature. Right? But it also means that the shadows are miserable. So Damon says, I did some A5 from Japan with Alberta Wagyu and honestly preferred the Alberta. Just too much fat. You can't eat more than 3 ounces before you're done. This is a true fact. If you ask Mike about our trip to Japan, we had way too much Wagyu beef with Takeda. And the both of us had some kind of meat fat hangover the next day. We couldn't operate.
Oh, the meat sweats.
We couldn't eat. We couldn't operate properly. Our brains were fuzzy. The only thing we could do was drink water and just be sad for a day. It was really awful. Don Penny says Finch Market, which he owns. Does he own that? No, maybe not. But he's ground up his because he had a sour toe. He had a sour toe from a corpse he had stolen in Transylvania. He actually has made a selection of rubs and spices for Finch Market with this grated sour toe. And I believe one of the only places you can get Japanese A5 beef. So there you go. Go get some A5 beef and get some of that Don Penny sour toe steak rub for it.
You don't make any sense sometimes.
I try not to.
And you say it with such conviction, like you believe everything you say.
Well, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I believe everything I say. Why wouldn't you?
Oh my. Well, what are we doing? We got the stores opening. The Ottawa shop is going to be open again on Tuesday.
Shrove Tuesday. Eat some pancakes.
Shrove Tuesday. On Pancake Tuesday, the store is going to be open. Now, I'm not going to be preparing. We've learned I'm not allowed to cook in the store. Don't come here looking for pancakes.
You can cook lamb neck pancakes.
I think the lamb neck is the biggest part of the problem.
The delicious part of the problem?
It is, yeah. But so we're back at it, kind of as, normal as normal can be anyways. 10 to 6 starting on Tuesday. So, which leads into this. So we're going to, on Tuesdays, Japanese Knife 101 is going to occur at 6 p.m. Eastern time, which is 4 p.m. Mountain time for Kevin. And then we've got Francis and Owen doing Sharpening Night in Canada on Thursdays. And that's at 7:15 Mountain time.
Oh, God, 7:15 now.
Yeah, well, because they got to
get to Owen. Leave it to Owen. It'll eventually be 7:19.
Yeah. Well, someone had to teach him to be that way, And that was
Chris Armitage.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. But that's later for us here in Ontario. That's not till 9:15. So maybe you're like getting cozy. Owen has a lovely voice, very deep voice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naoto's Nerd Hour which is for if you are dissatisfied with my answers to your knife questions, you should ask those same questions to Naoto because you'll get a very different answer. You will get the nerdy answer that you want if you're dissatisfied with my flippant, why do you care about those answers? So Naoto is 4 p.m. Mountain Time on Fridays. So and we are launching a new show. So kind of think about, I don't know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but think about all the things that we do put together in one spot, right? Sharpening, knife nerdery, blacksmith stories, shenanigans.
Yeah, it'll be a monthly show. It'll be 20 to 60 minutes long. Yeah. Monthly, it'll drop, and it's hosted by you, 40, Naoto, our Japanese correspondent, and moi.
Is that? Can we call Naoto that? Can we call him the Japanese correspondent and make sure that he is always like really well dressed?
He always is anyway.
He is, yeah, that's true.
But Naoto just makes you and I look like garbage always. And he makes us feel like garbage because he's smart and he's always right. I hate that. He's the worst.
Yeah, well, I just don't ask questions I don't already know the answers to.
You should follow Naoto on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like this.
Start in April. The show's going to start in April. It's going to drop every month. Yeah. And it's hosted by Yumi and Naoto.
Yeah.
And there's going to be challenges. There's going to be films about blacksmiths. There'll be knife things. We're going to visit friends of ours. We're going to go see Corey the Butcher, for example, up in Edmonton. There's going to be lots of stuff going on, and I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be called Slice and Onions. No,
I don't know. I like this splitting hairs. I'm gonna say it. That's kind of, if that was on the page, I would put my check mark beside that one right now. Because I don't know if I could I don't know if I can open myself up to the abuse of naming a thing Slice and Onions. I already take so much flack for onions.
I know, that's why I want to call it that.
Yeah.
Call it Pineapple Race.
Pineapple Race, yeah. Don does have a serious question about pineapples, though. He says, why do we not want to use, because we only said it, well, we might have said it once, but the reason why we don't like carbon steel for the pineapple, Don, is something happens in there. The carbon steel on the pineapple makes the pineapple taste funny.
Yeah, it makes the pineapple taste like steel, like iron.
Yeah. So, yeah, blank. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I didn't watch Naoto's show yesterday, so I don't know what this. I'm going to have to go back and look because
I was there.
Magical thing that blank keeps talking about. What was this super technique that Naoto mentioned?
So Naoto took one of those Sakai knives that is a mono steel, but they've gone and cheated.
And they put like the fake Sanmai line on it?
Exactly.
That's the thing that I said I hated about knives, remember?
Yeah, I know. So he took one of those Konosuke knives. There's a reason we don't have Konosuke knives now. He took one of those knives that's got the fake, it's been sandblasted, right? To make it look fake, to make it look like there's a ham on. And he sharpened it, thinned it, and restored that look to it.
Put the line back on?
Dude, go and watch it. It was he nailed it. He hit it out of the park so hard. But it was so funny. Then I think it was somebody had said, I can't believe it took Naoto an hour. I was like, I can't believe it took him an hour as well. But it was fast, and I thought he could do it in 20 minutes if he tried.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing about Naoto is that he's doing it slow so you can follow along.
The thing is about Naoto and here's a funny thing, Chris. I taught Naoto to sharpen knives 10 years ago now. So 10 years ago, Naoto was a university student and a sushi waiter. He's a terrible sushi waiter.
Yeah, you told me that.
And he was Toro's roommate. Toro's used to work with us, and now is working with in where's he working now? I think he's in Tosa. I've lost track of Toru, but Naoto has kind of reconnected with him recently, so that's great. So anyway, Naoto, what was I saying? Oh, Naoto, yeah, I taught Naoto to sharpen knives 10 years ago, but now he teaches me. It's amazing. I love doing the Friday shows with Naoto because I learn all kinds of new stuff, things that I've never heard of or seen, or techniques I didn't know. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the projector here in the store now, so we put all the YouTube videos and stuff up in the shop.
Well, you should watch that video from last night. It was amazing.
I will. I'll check that out.
It was amazing. And Naoto just nailed it out of the park. And right in the middle of the show, I said, "Oh, by the way, Naoto, we're starting a knife TV show, and you're one of the hosts." And he said, "Oh, that's good. Hey, look, there's a question from somebody." Didn't even care.
Didn't even care. It's just too cool now.
He's way too cool. You and I will never be as cool as Naoto, but don't tell him that.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Blank. I'm. This is interesting.
Oh, and then Naoto. Okay, there's also this trick they use in Sakai. So when they've got the knife blade, they put a piece of steel across the blade, and they've got a clamp on it, and then they can work on everything that's kind of south of the steel. You know what I mean? So they use the steel as like a jig.
Yeah.
So they can't go beyond that one spot. So they'll do that to work a certain area. Well, Naoto doesn't have that weird piece of steel that he can clamp on. So he just put a deba blade side down on it. It worked. And you use the edge of the deba as his boundary, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this.
He didn't blink for sure. I thought for sure there was gonna be blood. And Blank says he hasn't cut himself yet, but he'll
knock on wood for Blank.
No, Blank's gonna cut the shit out of himself. It'll be fine. It's fine.
Man,
nobody's watching, so he'll just deny it happened. I would.
That's true. Oh, I won the pineapple race today.
Yeah, did you win?
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. I thought I was gonna.
I know. Yeah, I think you did win. All right. Well, what should we do? Probably turn it off. Everyone's sick of us by now. They gotta be.
Well, we got one more question.
Yeah. You have to read it out to me, though.
It says, do you know much about Switzerland?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a very popular chicken and ribs restaurant there.
Really? Is it called Switzerland Cafe?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know, I've never had Switzerland Cafe.
No,
but I do know that their sauce, I'm told their sauce is Kraft dressing. It's like a salad dressing from Kraft called Catalina.
Maybe if you mixed it with a little bit. So
with a bit of chicken stock and Catalina dressing. That's what Swiss Chalet sauce is, I'm told.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty close.
Not pretty close. I kind of might know somebody who had a career of selling Catalina dressing to Swiss Chalet restaurants.
Nice.
I might have some insider knowledge.
You do, eh? Yeah. I've only ever eaten there once.
I've eaten there 0 times. What was it like? People seem to like it. They talk about drinking the sauce like it's some kind of.
I don't know why.
Some kind of tonic.
I'll be honest. You know what? This is gonna be another thing that people shit on me for. Okay. I can't dice an onion. Kevin beat me in a pineapple race. I set off the fire alarm at the store, and I think Swiss Chalet's garbage. All right. Let's just keep adding to the list.
I'm with you there. I've never had it, but there's a reason I never had Swiss Chalet.
I went once.
Listen, I'm 50 years old, and I've never been to Swiss Chalet. Do you think I've never been because I thought it would be awesome?
Yeah. No, I went one time because it's where my better half wanted to go. Everything that was there, everything in the place was gray. The food was all gray. It's all the same color. Everything's the same color. The hair of the people in there. Food. You know? We went into this place, and I had never been before. And I was like, I'll just get like a hot chicken sandwich. That can't be that bad. You know, I've eaten a lot of like diner hot chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
It was terrible, as you would imagine. I wasn't even drunk, so I couldn't even pretend it was good. And we were the youngest people in this restaurant by a lot. And the poor server just latched on. She was just like, must have been having a terrible day or something, but she just found someone who was approximately her age and just unloaded on us. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Whoa.
You know? Yeah, it was like I knew everything about this young lady by the time I was done eating my hot chicken sandwich. I wish I didn't.
It's a lot of things to know.
Yeah. Didn't want to know it. Didn't want to eat the sandwich.
That's some pretty heavy knowledge.
Yeah. Pretty heavy when I was done.
I have no idea why anybody's watching this. I think
the number went up when I started going off. I'm not telling you, Mecky. I don't want this young lady probably still works there, and this was like 5 years ago, and I don't want her to get in trouble. You know? Mecky.
My cousin worked at Swiss Chalet years ago, like 30 years ago. And she liked it because she said she got to wear what she called a Hausfrau dress. I don't know what that meant, but I know that my cousin used to like to show off a lot of cleavage and short skirts. So I think maybe Swiss Chalet had some pretty racy outfits back in the late 80s.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Not the case now. They look like they work at the bank.
Oh, really? No, I think she kind of alluded to this fact that they had kind of a bustier thing going on, and okay.
Don Penny, there's not a chance that waitress is watching this video. If that story that I just told rings true with one of the 26 people listening to me babble right now, I'll eat the whole damn pineapple. You know?
God, how fast can I make an account?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Mecky to be like, that was me. So
Mecky cost me extra money because Mecky went and donated money to the thing that I had to double. My God, I can't. Chris, I had to pay $6,400 for those two damn pierogies I ate.
You're a good man for it.
I'm an idiot, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, Dawn says she's been following her favorite.
But it all went to it.
Did go to a great cause. Yeah.
And now this heartbreak, Chris, is terrible.
Yeah. Oh God, goodness. It's because I had half a beer. Oh, Damon says sad waitress 374 has joined the chat. Oh man. See, I knew it was something was going to come. The next time I drink a beer and do this video, I'm not going to tell any more stories. You guys aren't going to get any. It's going to be real boring. Next time you show up, I'm just going to sit here quietly. And then Kevin will say, "Do you know much about Switzerland?" And I'll say, "I don't, but the flag's a big plus." And then
that's actually, when you say that, that's funny, right? That's like a funny joke.
It's like a joke.
That's funny, actually, now that you say that.
I'm going to have to go into this and clean up all these comments so they're not there for him next time. Blank, blank, it wasn't you. You're in Texas.
She moved. That's how terrible her experience was.
Yeah.
Because you didn't commiserate with her so much.
No.
Poor blank, blank. Poor blank, blank. Took her bustier and went to Texas. I don't know what's going on. Chris, I'm out of here. I gotta make some food, man.
Yeah. I gotta get home.
I make some food. I'm gonna braise some lamb neck. I'm gonna talk to some firemen. I'm gonna cut an onion stupidly. going to cut a pineapple slowly and just like drown myself in my sorrows.
Yeah, that's the next step.
I'm going to wear a D&D hat until I get a girlfriend.
I waited till I had a girlfriend, then I got the hat.
Is that the tip?
That's it. That's the trick, guys.
All right. Ciao, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you again on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. I'll probably be real fired up. The store will be open. I'll probably be tired. I'll say exactly what I'm thinking that day.
We're gonna call the show Onion, the extra cut, starring Chris Lord.
Director's cut. By the way, if you guys want to talk, I've been telling everybody who'll listen, I watched all 3 John Wick movies last Sunday.
Well, you watched them like at the same time, I think.
I went one after the other. Yeah, Kevin phoned me a couple of times during the day, and I would just keep him filled in. Not bad. If you like.
Two times Chris Lord killed me with a phone book. 2 times.
2 times, yeah. Yeah. If you got nothing better to do, it'll keep you busy. All right. Well, I'm going to turn this off before someone else finds something to ridicule me for. So have a good one, everybody. We'll talk to you.